Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakash. The line said, I was Apostle Ray Millstone, storm your truth and rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the icon out there. Scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth. That serve this truth and not truth sincerity. To I say, Shalom. This is the Nabala coming to you on the video in the spirit. And basically, this topic, this video is going to be about everyone who, basically prophesies in the Lord's name is not going to inherit the promises, is not going to inherit the kingdom, because you got a lot of, you got a wicked man out here that are claiming to be a part of this thing and is not really doing it diligently. They're not serving this truth in all true sincerity. And that's why at the beginning of every video, I say that, because a lot of men out here is not doing this thing in truth. You got people out there that in GMS, and not just GMS, and other camps as well, who are going out there, that are probably using the name Yahweh Yahweh Shah, and saying that they're prophesying His name, but they're not true believers, or they're set up to be false prophets. So I'm just gonna grab these scriptures. This is 1 Samuel 19 and 20. It says, and Saul sent messengers to take David, and when they saw the company of the prophets prophesying, and Samuel standing at his appointed over them, the spirit of Yahweh was upon them, upon the messengers of Saul, and they also prophesied. And when it was told Saul, he sent other messengers, and they prophesied likewise. And Saul sent messengers again the third time, and they prophesied also. So that just goes to show you that, when people try to come up, against the prophets, against the true man of the Lord, that the spirit of Yahweh Shai is in the midst. He's dealing with them. So that's why really no harm is going to happen, to us, to the true men, because us here in GMS, we have had numerous encounters and various things that's happened while we've been, in the highways and byways. But what? The Lord sustains us. He allows us to be able to continue to keep, hosting camp and wherever evil spirit is around us at that time, or trying to mess with at that time. The Lord just has it go away. Yeah, we have to deal with it, but what? He allows it to go away and allows us to continue to do His will. Continue to do the work. So that it shows you that this is more of a spiritual thing as well. And Yahweh Yahshua controls it. This is verse 22. It says, then when he also to Ramah, and came to a great well that is in Sechu, and he asked and said, where are Samuel and David? And one said, behold, they be at Noeth and Ramah. And he went thither to Noeth and Ramah, and the spirit of Yahweh was upon him also. And he went on and prophesied until he came to Noeth and Ramah. And he stripped off his clothes also, and prophesied before Samuel in like manner, and lay down naked all that day and all that night. Wherefore they say, is Samuel also among the prophets kind? So what this basically is talking about is, if you know the story of Saul, Saul was being very wicked, and one of the things he was trying to do was he was trying to kill David. If you go back and read, he's been trying to kill David numerous of times, twice by his own hand, and then he tried to send David out to war to be killed by the Philistines. Okay, so what I'm reading right now in verse 19, all this happened before. He's been trying to basically set David up. So when he finally, and you can see he's been sending messengers out to take David, but they wasn't able to, because the spirit of Yahweh Shah was in the midst. So they weren't able to do anything. The Lord made them basically start prophesying with them, But just because they started prophesying with them doesn't mean that they were true prophets. The Lord just brought that spirit on them. That just shows you how the Lord controls everything. So, to continue to elaborate on this later verse of 23 and 24, when Saul got fed up, because every time he sent the messenger out there to go take David and it wasn't successful, he went out there himself. But when he went out there himself, what happened? The Lord put the spirit on him to start prophesying as well. That's why the last line of the last verse says, "Wherefore they say, is Saul also among the prophets?" Because they knew that Saul was out here being wicked. So they're like, what is he out here doing among the prophets? And that's why the scriptures say there are wicked men among our people. That's because they know they're Israelite and say they're Israelite. Doesn't mean that they're truly those men. Because you got wicked men that's trying to basically set up our own people. Now, I'm gonna grab that real quick. This is Jeremiah 5 and 26. It says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They layeth wait as he that setteth snares, for they say trap, they catch mankind." So Saul was a king, and he was the king of what? Israel. But what was he? He was wicked. And one thing he was trying to do was what? He constantly was trying to set traps to what? To catch David. That's just goes to show you that. And this was a king. So if a king can be wicked, how much more does your everyday regular Israelite, especially the ones who are in these groups that are set up to be the leaders of these groups, that are out here falsely prophesying. They're setting our people up. Ultimately, they're setting our people up for destruction. But also, they're not fully giving our people what they need, as far as the wisdom and knowledge and understanding to be able to withstand these times that we're coming into. Because things are getting real. It's starting to get real. It's heating up, whether you can see it or not. It's turning up out here. And if you don't have this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you're going to be through. You're not going to know how to conduct yourself. And eventually what? You're not going to have a strong foundation. So if you ain't got a strong foundation and stuff start getting real, you're gonna be weak. You're going to be weary. And therefore that can cause you to fold. And fold what? To Esau, Edom. To his ways and to the ultimate what he wants you to do, which is that MOTB. Because you have to understand that all this is the Lord's doing, and all this is all everything that's going on. This is a test from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. He has to see who his true men are, who his true people are. So that's why he's doing the things he's out here doing. I'm gonna go over here. Just to go back into the point that just because you got people out here who are in this thing doesn't mean that they're going to inherit the kingdom. Because you gotta make sure you're bringing forth good fruit, and that's why I'm gonna start up here. And I'm gonna start here at verse 17. It says Matthew 7 and 17. It says, "Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. Wherefore by their fruits you shall know them." So by your works, you're going to know who those true men are. Because that's why we say here in GMS, we bring out that 100% truth. Every other camp is not doing that. Yeah, they probably prophesy Yahweh Shai, but what does that mean? If they're still out here saying that it's okay to eat swine, it's okay out here to smoke weed, it's okay out here to take these jabs, it's okay to take the MOTB. that's not bringing forth good fruit. That's bringing forth evil fruit, because that's that's deceiving our people. But ultimately, that's Yahweh Shai doing that. The scriptures say the deceiving deceivers are His. The Lord are setting some of our people up to deceive our people, but He's not going to. It's not going to deceive the elect. So that's ultimately what this is about too. So waking up the true men, the true elect. And I'm continue to read. This is Matthew 7:21. It says, "Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I prophesy unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." And that's what some of these leaders out here in these other camps are doing. You know, they're using the name Yahweh Shai, but what? They still out here being niggas, plain and simple. I just told you a couple of things, being niggas and deceiving our people. So it's gonna come a time where they're gonna see things really turning up, because they don't fully believe. You know, they don't fully believe, or they don't fully have faith in Yahweh Shai. They don't. But it's gonna come a time when they're gonna see the things that's happening. They're gonna see these prophecies coming to pass. They're gonna see things speeding up. They're gonna see everything that we've been speaking about here in GMS start happening, and then what? They're gonna try to get their act together. But the Lord's not gonna try to hear that shit. You know? But ultimately it's up to the Lord to determine who He's gonna have mercy on. But for you Israelites who know you Israelites who claim to be in the truth, but still out here being completely wicked, the Lord's not gonna try to hear that. He's gonna say, "Depart from me, you workers of iniquity." So, again, to you Israelites out there, you know, take heed of who you're listening to, who you follow to. You know, like the brothers say in GMS, we can't control or tell you what to do, but ultimately we recommend that you don't listen to these other camps. You know, listen to GMS, because we got the 100% truth. But you're your own person, so just take heed again to these other camps. You know, if you hear something that's off or bugged out, you know, that should be an eye opener to you then. But also take heed to yourselves as well, you know, to make sure that you're gathering the correct wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Okay, so I'm gonna close out. Lord willing, this video was edifying. I'm gonna close out by giving our praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Shalom.